This is not a headline anyone saw coming. Fans are stunned. Her family is in chaos, and the entire rap industry is still struggling to make sense of it. GloRilla, the breakout star who flipped the game on its head with her unfiltered bars and raw Memphis energy, has just been sentenced. And the courtroom was nothing short of a disaster. Tears, screams, and betrayal filled the air. And as the verdict was read, GloRilla stood silent, refusing to speak, refusing to cry. Just one look, cold, distant, and then she was gone. But what really led to this shocking downfall? Behind the flashing cameras and viral tracks, a darker story was brewing. Whispers of a secret feud, a betrayal from within her own camp, and a mistake that couldn't be undone. And now, with a sentence that could take her away for years or even forever, fans are asking the question no one ever thought they'd have to face. Is this the end of GloRilla as we know her? Don't move a muscle, because the story you're about to hear is more shocking, more emotional, and more explosive than anything we've ever covered. Welcome to the most heartbreaking chapter in rap this year. It all started with one night, one choice, and no way out. It started before dawn. The courthouse steps were packed. Reporters shoved microphones into shaking faces. Fans gathered in silence, holding signs that read, "Free GloRilla and Justice." Inside, tensions were thick enough to cut. GloRilla walked in with a hoodie, head down. The family sat behind her, the air heavy with emotion. Tears streamed silently. The family was left divided, some shouting support, others whispering fear. Accusations flew through the gallery even before the judge spoke. Emotions ran high as the prosecution presented its case. A rumored betrayal, a flash of violence caught on leaked security footage, a name dropped in whispers. According to one source, someone from GloRilla's inner circle leaked evidence to the press, hoping to protect someone else. Fans are shocked, hearing rumors about a hidden feud with a manager who betrayed her trust. One of their heated arguments is said to have happened backstage at a tour stop. Voices heard over a recorder. "You gonna ruin me?" she yelled. The manager responded calmly, "I'm doing what I gotta do." GloRilla's defense tried to calm the storm, painting her as a victim of manipulation and pressure. But as the hours passed, witnesses took the stand. Fans, crew members, even family friends. They described a messy altercation that allegedly spiraled out of control. A scream in a hotel hallway, a flash of metal, and then nothing. Security footage cut off. The scene devolved into chaos. When the judge asked for final statements, GloRilla stood up, voice trembling, and simply said, "I never meant for any of this." When the verdict finally came, a hush fell. "Guilty," the judge declared. The courtroom erupted. Sanctity of family honor shattered in a second. Fans cried out in disbelief. Some stomped out in anger. Others collapsed in tears. Within minutes, social media exploded. Hashtags like #GoodbyeForever, #GloRilla, #TrustBetrayed trended worldwide. Reactions were instantaneous. Celebrities posted question marks, rappers shared praying emojis, and memes flooded in. The blowback was immediate, brutal, and relentless. Meanwhile, insiders hinted the sentence wasn't just prison time, could mean deportation, loss of publishing rights, and a lifetime ban from touring. One legal analyst told media, "This changes everything. Her brand, her label deals, her future gone, and the family." Were split, some backing her public redemption, others preparing damage control. One cousin leaked a text, "We gonna rise or fall together, but don't let them bury her alive." But just when the narrative seemed set, a twist arrived. Someone released audio late-night phone call between GloRilla and an unknown whisperer. In the shaky recording, GloRilla's voice, "They're ruining me. The other voice, "You gotta stay silent. We handled this." The implication, someone powerful was pulling strings. And GloRilla might not be the one in control anymore. Then came the leak of a group chat. Screenshots supposedly from her campwear messages hinted at a setup. They needed a fall girl. Read one message. Cover tracks. Call it guilt. Another. Don't cry now. Cry later. Fans began to wonder, was GloRilla actually the victim of a trap? Or was she ensuring her own disappearance to escape something darker? And that's where part 1 ends. A star collapsed under the world's gaze. Trust shredded. A sentence handed out. And now, questions burning in every mind. Was this real justice? Or a carefully orchestrated goodbye? As GloRilla was escorted out of the courtroom in silence, handcuffed and flanked by 2 deputies, a crowd of supporters erupted outside. Some screamed her name. Others just stood frozen, shocked by the image of their favorite rapper taken away, like a criminal. One girl, no older than 14, clutched a handwritten sign that read, "You saved my life." She collapsed in tears as the police van pulled away. That moment alone became the thumbnail of every trending video for the next 2 days. But while the world processed the sentence, something else was happening behind the scenes, something darker. GloRilla's closest friend and longtime collaborator, known to fans only as D, broke her silence. In a now-deleted Instagram Live, she said through choked-up sobs, "Y'all don't even know the half. She didn't deserve this. She was trying to protect somebody. She took the heat for somebody else." Fans lost it. Protect who? Take the heat for what? Rumors spread like wildfire. Whispers started pointing to a night at a private house party 3 weeks before the arrest. According to leaked text messages and an anonymous caller to a gossip show, something happened between GloRilla and another artist at the party, a fight. A secret deal gone wrong, maybe even something involving stolen masters. No footage existed publicly, but someone was shopping around what they claimed was a phone recording of the event. Meanwhile, GloRilla's legal team filed a motion to appeal the sentence. They claimed crucial evidence was never presented and suggested possible tampering from an outside source. One lawyer hinted in a press conference, "We have reason to believe this wasn't a fair fight. Certain forces wanted her silenced." And then came the betrayal that broke the internet. Her former manager, who had been suspiciously quiet through the trial, appeared on a late-night podcast and told his side of the story. He claimed GloRilla had grown distant, erratic, and paranoid in the months leading up to the incident. "She kept saying people were out to get her," he said, shaking his head. "She thought there were bugs in her dressing room. She fired half the team overnight. She started recording herself 24/7, like she didn't trust anyone. And the worst part is, she wasn't wrong." His last words hung in the air. She wasn't wrong. That one clip sparked 100 theories. People began re-watching old interviews, scanning background noises, even translating whispers from viral TikToks. One video that resurfaced was particularly haunting, showed GloRilla backstage at a festival, staring straight into the camera and saying, "If they get me, tell 'em I never sold out. I just tried to make it out." The pressure became too much for some. GloRilla's older sister, a nurse from Memphis, released a handwritten letter on social media. She revealed that GloRilla had stopped talking to most of the family months ago. "She told us she couldn't trust nobody," she wrote. She said if she disappeared, we needed to look into her label, not the law. Fans were stunned. For the first time, this wasn't just about fame or crime, it was about survival. GloRilla, the tough-as-nails voice of the streets, had been fighting a silent war long before the trial. And now that war was becoming public, but the industry wasn't ready for what came next. In the middle of the chaos, a prominent producer, who once collaborated with GloRilla, someone who'd previously denied involvement, was subpoenaed. A week later, their emails were leaked. And buried deep in one of the chains was a message from GloRilla herself, sent only 2 days before her arrest. It read, "You said you'd keep me safe. Now look at me. If I go down, I'm naming names." Line changed everything. Suddenly, this wasn't a sentencing. It was a time bomb. A time bomb. People in the music world went quiet. Social media accounts vanished. Lawyers issued cease and desist letters to bloggers. Even GloRilla's label released a vague, panicked statement. "We support our artists through all challenges." We ask for privacy and fairness at this time, but fans weren't buying it. They started calling it what it looked like, a cover-up. And GloRilla's fanbase. They became investigators overnight, decoding lyrics, mapping connections, following usernames, and tracking down party guests. Some claimed to find deleted burner accounts linked to executives. Others claimed one of GloRilla's last verses predicted her downfall. "They want me gone before I grow. Said I'm too loud. I move too slow. I seen snakes inside my show. Now they got masks, but I still know." That verse, from an unreleased track titled Exit Wounds, suddenly became her unofficial anthem. And then, as if this story couldn't get more twisted, a video appeared out of nowhere. A clip of GloRilla sitting in what looked like a dressing room, talking directly to her phone. Her tone wasn't angry. It was exhausted, defeated. She said, "If y'all ever see me disappear, don't cry, just fight. Don't believe everything you read. Don't trust everybody who smile. Some of the people closest to me, ... They the ones who lit the match." The video went viral in minutes. Millions watched it on loop. Fans edited it into tribute montages. One user posted, "She left us a warning and we didn't see it till it was too late." The pressure on the label was unbearable now. Within days, another artist on the same roster posted a cryptic tweet. "They tried to shut me up too, but I'm not going quiet." More questions than answers. More heat than resolution. GloRilla's sentencing was supposed to be the end of her story. But in reality, it was just the start of something no one could have predicted. Because now, the question wasn't why she was sentenced. It was who wanted her gone in the first place. The world waited, turned into weeks, and GloRilla remained locked away, silent to the public, but louder than ever in the culture. The streets were still echoing with her name, but something felt different now. This wasn't just about a rapper in jail. This was a movement. The appeal date was set. One final shot to reverse her sentence, to rewrite the ending. Outside the courthouse, crowds had doubled, tripled even. Artists showed up wearing t-shirts with her mugshot. There were chants, candles, painted murals, and pop-up performances in her honor. But while fans held their breath, something even more shocking surfaced: a full audio file, 14 minutes long, leaked on a private Discord server. It was a studio session, one GloRilla allegedly recorded days before her arrest. In it, her voice was sharp, focused, no beat, just a cappella. Raw emotion, a lyrical purge. She addressed her label, the betrayal, the fear, the sentence, and the people she believed had targeted her. In one chilling line, she rapped, "They sold dreams just to snatch mine back, offered a pen, told me sign that I gave 'em bars. They gave me chains, I gave 'em hits. They gave me pain." Fans dubbed the track Chains. Within hours, remixes dropped, visuals were fan-created, and major platforms were flooded with clips of influencers reacting to every word. The energy shifted once again. Now, GloRilla wasn't just the victim, she was the prophet. But inside those 14 minutes were coded names, veiled accusations, and shocking suggestions. Lines like "Y'all sat me at the table just to feed me lies," and suits in back rooms, praying I don't wake, had everyone scrambling to decode who she was talking about. One TikTok creator broke down each bar and linked it to industry execs, past managers, and even government figures rumored to have ties to her label. It became too loud to ignore. Pressure built against the very system that had sentenced her, legal. Experts began questioning the legitimacy of the entire case. New evidence surfaced, emails from prosecutors that showed clear coordination with music execs. A retired judge gave an anonymous interview, admitting that in his 30 years on the bench, he'd never seen an artist go down that fast, that clean. Then came the whistleblower. A former legal assistant, only known as N, revealed that a key witness had been paid off to testify against GloRilla. Receipts, Zelle payments, burner phones. It was all in a folder sent to multiple media outlets. One email even read, "Make sure she stays quiet. Offer the family a deal if needed." The story exploded. Fans flooded the courthouse steps once again, chanting mistrial and free Glo. The public outrage hit critical mass. The appeal date couldn't come fast enough. On the day of the hearing, GloRilla appeared in court, thinner, quieter, but with that same unbreakable look in her eyes. She wore no makeup, no jewelry, just a simple gray jumpsuit and braids pulled back tightly. Her lawyer spoke for her, but her presence said everything. And then another twist before the judge could rule. A new development came through. The prosecution suddenly asked for a delay. Rumors flew that their case was crumbling. One source claimed they'd lost a key witness. Another said the real truth is about to explode and they trying to cover tracks. But GloRilla's team wasn't waiting outside the courthouse. Her sister stood at a podium and dropped another bombshell. She revealed that GloRilla had recorded a full album from behind bars, titled Goodbye Forever. It wasn't just music, it was testimony. Letters from isolation, raw truth. Each track a chapter of what happened, who betrayed her, and what the system had done. The lead single, a track called Silent Funeral. In it, GloRilla rapped, "Bury me before you hear me. That's how they write. My fate, but I got verses in my veins and secrets they can't erase." It wasn't just a song, it was a war cry. Overnight, Silent Funeral topped every streaming chart. Blogs called it a posthumous masterpiece from someone still breathing. Fans rallied around it. Even critics who once dismissed her were forced to admit GloRilla was reshaping the culture even from a cell. Industry figures began to panic. Some deleted old posts, others went quiet. Her label released a vague statement about rethinking direction and restructuring leadership. Nobody dared name names, but the fear was showing. And then, finally, the court reconvened. After 6 hours behind closed doors, the judge returned with a decision. Due to procedural inconsistencies, newly submitted evidence, and possible witness manipulation, GloRilla's conviction was vacated. She was free. The courtroom erupted. Tears, screams, prayers, cheers. GloRilla didn't smile. She simply stood, nodded once, and walked out in silence. The world outside was waiting. Thousands lined the streets. Drones flew overhead. News anchors pushed through the crowd. She stepped onto the courthouse steps and raised her hand. No speech, no statement. Just one gesture, and the crowd lost its mind. But the story wasn't over. GloRilla didn't run back into fame. She didn't post selfies. She didn't do interviews. Instead, she vanished. Disappeared for weeks. No sightings. No news until one night, a surprise show in Memphis. No promo. No flyer. Just a black stage, one spotlight. And then she appeared. A single mic, no band, no dancers. She rapped Chains, Silent Funeral, and a new verse that stopped time. I walked through fire just to speak again. They took my voice, but I wrote with pain. They tried to end me with a gavel's hit, but I'm still here, and I don't forget. The crowd cried. No theatrics. just truth in that moment. GloRilla became something else entirely. Not just a rapper, not just a survivor, but a voice for every artist who'd ever been silenced, trapped, buried under contracts, lies, and betrayal. And as she walked off that stage, a single message flashed on the screen behind her. The fight's not over. Part 4 ends here. But this movement, it's just getting started. So here we are. After all the noise, the chaos, the betrayal, and the bars, both musical and metal, GloRilla is out. But is she really free? Or is this just the calm before another storm? Because even though the chains are off, the scars are still fresh, and the industry knows now she's watching. She remembers, and she's not staying quiet anymore. Fans are still asking the hard questions. Who were the real people behind her sentencing? Who cashed in on her silence? And most importantly, what else is she planning to reveal? Her album, Goodbye Forever, might have been written from behind bars, but its impact feels like it came from a battlefield. And that surprise performance, that wasn't just a comeback. That was a warning. This story isn't over. Not by a long shot. And if there's one thing we've learned, it's that GloRilla doesn't go down easy. She fights, she raps, and now, she leads. But what do you think? Was GloRilla set up by the industry? Was the sentence part of a bigger plan to silence her voice? Or was she really spiraling and the system just finally caught up? Do you believe in her innocence, or is there more truth buried in the parts we haven't seen yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. We want to hear your take. Hit that like button if you believe GloRilla deserves justice. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that shake the game. Because trust us, this rap drama is just heating up, and you won't want to miss what comes next. Until then, stay loud, stay woke, and stay ready. Because if GloRilla taught us anything, it's this: they can't silence the truth forever.